Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family. Welcome once again to the Abundant Way Ministries Tuesday evening empowerment series.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're back.
Back again for the big payback. We are in the month of May. And I know I feel like we're a week off, but
right, we wasn't on last week.
We had a very busy first week of May.
Yeah.
It's Melly Boo's birthday.
I had a birthday. Yay, me.
Yeah, so we took a minute to just celebrate another year around the sun. And but we're back.
We're back. I'm trying to find us live, and I'm not seeing us live, but maybe we just keep going. Because I don't know. There we are. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
We are live. Okay. Hello, everyone.
All right. So now we are in the month of May and
don't your elbows.
Okay.
The camera. Okay.
I'm gonna need you to.
I'm doing housekeeping stuff here. If you click on the comments, you have known what I'm doing. But anyway.
Okay. Here we are with the comments. So we are in the month of May. And what is this month about?
This month is all about work.
Work.
Your job and your faith.
Uh-huh.
So, you know how I've been told this, that one way you act a certain way at work, and then you act a certain way at home. I've been told it.
Mm-hmm.
I was told that I act white at work,
No.
and I am black at home.
I think I'm black everywhere I go. But now I noticed though that the title that actually grabbed my attention was Faith in the Marketplace. And which does mean work, like if you work a 9 to 5, you're a W-2 employee, but it also means in the marketplace if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, right? And so we just happen to be both.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the same time, and sometimes different.
Yeah.
So I will say this before I even look at all of the wonderful notes that you put together. I could probably talk about this stuff blindfolded because we know firsthand that it takes faith to be, especially to be entrepreneurs. And well, I probably won't jump ahead because I'm sure there's going to be an opportunity for us to tell a story about what we did at the salon suite.
Oh yeah.
And that whole story, you know. But yeah, if you are an entrepreneur, you know, more power to you. My prayers are with you because it is not easy.
It is not easy.
It's not easy. So you definitely need to. That is a journey of faith in action. That is faith in action.
Yeah.
And so, you know, those of you who are who operate in that vein, you definitely have our prayers and our support.
Absolutely. Because been there, still there,
yeah,
still doing it.
Yeah.
And it really depends on when we were in so many different avenues. So we had faith, but we had different kind of faith based on which business we were working.
Well, now you kind of messed me up when you said had as in past tense.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I mean have, but one of the businesses we don't have anymore. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But it depends on, and even outside of including entrepreneurship, even going to your 9 to 5, your everyday job, you have to have faith.
Right.
And that's why the week 1 it says faith at work.
Faith at work.
Right. So whether you're working for someone else or you're working for yourself, you always have to have faith.
Right.
So where does faith show up at work?
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that though, because again, as I mentioned before, sometimes in our life, we're both entrepreneurs and W-2 employees. I just happen to be that right now. And it's interesting because at work, one of my coworkers, who I believe he lives in Schenectady, New York, somewhere out there, or Connecticut, one of them. We've interacted via online work meetings and stuff like that for a pretty good number of years. And it actually wasn't until we started the Abundant Way, and I think people caught on, even at work, people kind of know that we got this going on, that one of my coworkers introduced me to a faith group at work that actually meets every week and has different online forums at least once a month. And I was surprised. I jumped on, just to kind of be real quiet in the background to see how many people are on the call and what they're doing on the call, interesting. So it's refreshing, I will say, to say the least, but it's still also challenging because even though I know that they have that group going on, it's still hard for me to join it at work, because you're thinking, oh, sure, I got to get this work done. I got to get the work done, but they're having this meeting. I got to get this work done, right? And so you have to still make that commitment, like we do with church. We make we make a commitment to get up early on Sunday morning and go to church, until it becomes a habit. And so to get involved with something like that at work, you have to make that commitment as well.
But also too, it's even without involvement with a specific group, a group of people, it's kind of hard to some people to even confess your faith, confess that you're a Christian, confess your beliefs, because you don't want to cross the line of, trying to influence others to come join what it is that you're a part of, or come be a part of what you believe in. And then next thing you know, you called into HR because you done messed up somewhere down the line. So at the workplace, it gets kind of hard, and it gets kind of, you're walking a thin line. You're walking the tightrope to, okay, I don't care. People know that I'm a Christian. I don't care that they know that I believe in God and how, I live my life. But do you talk about it?
Right. I think the issue at the workplace is a term that they call proselytizing. You knew it was going to come with some big word. Don't even know why you're looking.
And don't ask me how to spell it. I can't even type it.
And what that means, what that means is, how when people try to sway you to believe the way they believe, that's proselytizing. So you can honor your faith at work without trying to make someone be like you, or make someone follow what you follow, or believe what you believe the way you believe it, right? And so then you start crossing the line when you start trying to do that, right? So as long as you're not doing that, you're not running around passing out tracts at work,
no people there,
right? And first of all, you're supposed to be working, and you pass around tracts, right? It's different. And so now, what's interesting is that the company allowed the company allowed different organizations to form their group. But we're not trying to make somebody else be a part of that group. You see what I'm saying?
That's good. I like that your company allow you guys to do that, because believe it or not, you have some companies that will not touch it, will not cross that line at all. And then you have some companies that honor different religions, people's different religions, and how they work in their religions. Right. What different what's the word I'm trying to say? Different belief tactics. You have the ones that pray 3 times a day, right? 5 times a day. That's what is that? Muslim? Muslim. Yeah. So they allow them the opportunity to do that because they're at work, at least 3-4 times a day, time during the day. So they're at work, so they allow them to do that. But what do you do? How do you show your faith at work just throughout your day? And that's really what we're going to be discussing. I like the under our title, Faith at Work, it says your identity before your impact. And so it says you don't bring faith into work, you bring work under your faith. I like the way they put that. You don't bring faith into work, you bring work under your faith, right? So before God uses you to influence others, he forms you how you show up every day. And that's the key point right there, is how you show up every day. I know when I was driving back and forth to work, in the mornings, I'm praying all the way to work, just about. I'm driving, and I always drive in silence. But I'm driving in silence, and I'm like, Lord, just help me with this day, control my temper. I don't let me come out of character, right? Give me the words to speak. Right. Let everything that I do be a reflection of you. So that was my prayer every day at work, because we can work those jobs that can take you there, or at least try to take you there.
Here's a good point, and I get what you're saying, and I think a lot of people don't even look at it like this. I think I could be totally wrong. But I suspect that when we talk about faith at work or faith in the marketplace, people think about the religious actions that we do, let's say for Christians on Sunday or Saturday, depending on what you follow. But when you bring, according to your note here, bringing work under your faith, I think it shows up differently if you really understood your faith. And I think a lot of people go into it with a different mindset. And what I mean by that is, I'll use Christianity, for example, because that's the one that I'm most familiar with. You remember how when we first started the Abundant Way, we took the whole first year, the year that we launched online, and we just talked about Jesus as the way. That's all we did. And I did that purposely, intentionally, because our thought process was that if we are launching this ministry as a faith-based ministry, then we ought to understand the principles of that faith as taught by Jesus Christ. That's where we get the word Christians from. Right. And a lot of people don't do that. They go for the emotional side of religion instead of the logical side, which is what are the values and the principles of this faith. All right. I took the long way around the mountain to say this on purpose. Let's say what you were just talking about, dealing with tension and contention at work that might make you go off on somebody, right? Well, one of the principles that Jesus taught was, it's not what goes in a man's mouth or a woman's mouth that defiles them, but it's what comes out. That's a Christian principle taught by Jesus. And so it's that guiding principle that governs how you act, in general, but especially at work, where you're more likely to be confronted with some contentious situation, right? So now you are operating and carrying yourself at work guided by your Christian principles and values, and that's how you show up. Doesn't mean that you got to go shouting and slinging the Bible all around everywhere you go and quoting scriptures and stuff like that. And see, you got people who every time they open their mouth, they got a Christian quote for you, but then their life doesn't exemplify the values and the principles, right? And so in that light, you can show up as a Christian every day without ever opening your mouth.
Yep, absolutely. Which is what you actually led into the part on the notes that says who you are on Sunday should match who you are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No matter where you are, regardless if it's work or not, the life that your Christian lifestyle should be reflected every day.
Are you sure, because I don't see anyone commenting at all.
You're right here. Who's this? Yeah, we're live, but I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. What is this?
Okay.
Hold on, let me go out and come back in.
If you're out there and you can hear us and see us, please comment. We just want to do a quick tech check, make sure everything is working right.
Yeah, it's on the way. There we are.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe we didn't get the word out right. I don't know. Hopefully you watched the recording.
Oh my God. Anyway, my facial expressions need to show Christian.
Right.
I am struggling with that. I struggle with that all the time. So, anywho, so it says, yes. So, how you
Good
are.
Thing Jesus didn't say, watch with your face. Watch your face.
I'll be repenting every day.
Okay.
Yeah. So it said, it's saying so many people unintentionally separate their faith from their work life. So church is equal to spirituality, but work is practical. Church is spiritual, work is practical.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the number up there.
Because I switched. So that's why.
So
right?
It's really just us.
Yeah, right now. But God doesn't operate in compartments, he operates in wholeness. So again, in the key scripture to this is Matthew 5:16, where it talks about let your light shine before others. Right? So a lot of times we I don't want to maybe I can say it. We dummy down who we are. Our faith and our beliefs. We dummy that down. Because why is it that we don't want people to know that we have faith and we believe in what we believe in? Why do we try to hide it?
I think probably because, like you mentioned before, in days past, most companies did not allow that in the workplace, right? And so to not get in trouble with HR, that's something that you just didn't express at work. That's one. Some people are just shy about it in general. So whether they're at work or they're out and about, they just don't, and then again, it's not something that you have to overtly do. It's that are you living the life? Are you living by the principles? Because your light will shine regardless if you're actually living the principles, right? You don't have to try to make people know who you are, like I said, by carrying your Bible around everywhere you go.
Right.
Some, people will just know. People will, how you carry yourself, people will know. Now, I will say this, though. Another reason is out of respect for others' religion. Again, that's another Christian principle because Jesus was inclusive. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. So the company that I work for is a global company. It's worldwide. We're in every corner of the world. So on a daily basis, I'm dealing with people from different cultures, different religions, and different religious backgrounds. And so you wouldn't get any work done if everybody was trying to promote their religion at work.
Yeah.
Right? You just live by your principles and you get your job done.
Yep. That's it. It's we are, I know we've been prophesied to that we are influential people. And we can, is that a word? Influentiality? Is that a word?
Let's make it.
Let's make a word today. So that we can,
let's make a word today.
We can influence people. And when I say we, I mean people in general can influence other people. Just talking with my grandson earlier, he was telling me about some rapper. I forgot the name of it. Them, but how they got I guess he killed somebody, right? He committed murder. Well, a young man that was, hey, cousin D, another young man that was with him. I don't know if he was actually with him, but part of his entourage, right? He got in trouble also. And instead of him getting the death penalty, he's getting life in prison. So, and I told him, I said, you got to be very careful of who you hang with or who you let influence you to do certain things or go a certain place, because you can just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, not even do anything. So we have to be careful with that because we don't want to show others our other side. Right. Everybody, we all got an other side. It'll come out. We don't want it to come out. We're not trying to get it to come out, but it'll come out. And so that's where our faith kicks in. And hey there.
What's up, cuz?
That's when our faith kicks in, and we have to remember who we are in God's eyesight, right? The life that we're living. Are we displaying that at the workplace? Are we displaying that to show others in turmoil, or when you're having an issue? How do you handle it? Right. Because believe it or not, people are watching. People watch us all the time. Right.
Yep.
And we don't want to give the wrong persona of who we are. And you're like, you at church on Sunday and you just cussed that girl out over there.
Right. That's another good point. So now we were raised that when we walk out the house, we represent our household. We represent our parents, right?
Yep.
So when you see what I'm saying? we and so you mind how you carry yourself when you're away from home because of that honor. And you just picked up something, didn't you? The same is true when we're at work. We represent our Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if nothing else, that should be your guiding light, your guiding principle. You know, there will be times at work and in the marketplace when people get on your nerves or people cut you the wrong way and you want to respond a certain way. Now, this doesn't mean be a pushover or be anybody's floor mat or doormat.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you have to conduct yourself with a Christian character, right? You can be, I'm gonna put it in the business world. You can be a shrewd businessman and still be Christ-like.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
In fact, that's all throughout the Bible. You know, I think about the story when the everybody knows the story about when the landowner went away and he left his servants, 3 servants, the talents, right? Make a long story short, he was expecting them to be shrewd businessmen while he was gone, right? But it didn't mean that they would be less godlike.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So don't get it mistaken that because you are a Christian, you've got to be a pushover. Because that's not, you know, when the Bible talks about being meek, that doesn't mean weak.
Right.
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 So you've gotta be able to stand your ground and stand up for yourself and stand for what you believe in. But how you handle situations makes all the difference in the world.
That's it. Yep. And even beyond situations, your work ethic.
Oh,
your work ethic should be a representation of Christ.
Right.
Of Christ or the way you live. Right. Right. So it's that excellence is spiritual, not just professional. So there's a scripture in the Bible where it says, I don't know how it goes, but it had the words in decent and in order.
Right.
Right. And do everything in excellence. Right. So we're not supposed to be mediocre.
Right.
You know, whether you're running your own business or whether you're working your 9 to 5, we're not mediocre. So when it says in excellence, that doesn't mean you're not gonna make mistakes. But what it means is that you're doing your job as unto a representation of your Father. Right. So you're not half doing your work. You're not half submitting a report. You're not coming in late all the time or staying over, extending your lunch period or leaving early, you know, that kind of thing. Your work ethic is also a representation of your faith. Right.
Now, with the scripture that you mentioned, that was Paul, and he was dealing with order in the church in terms of operating in your spiritual gifts and speaking in tongues and stuff like that. He said, let everything be done in decency and order. But the scripture that you have written here is really on point. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, where he says, whatever you do, do it with all your heart, work it with all your heart as unto the Lord. That's what it says in the King James Version. Do it as you're doing it unto the Lord. In other words, not as unto man. Right. So regardless of the fact that it was your supervisor or your manager or your team leader or your boss that told you to do something or gave you an assignment, when you take on that assignment, you ought to do the best job you can possibly do all the time. Like Martin Luther King said, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. So even if you were a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper that the world has ever seen. Right. And that is, again, a Christian principle, right? It's Christian character, that whatever we do it in the spirit of excellence.
Yeah. Right? And we sometimes we forget who our provider is, who provided or gave us the job, who gave us the opportunity to work at this company.
Right.
You know, God provided all of that for us. So we have to work as if we're working for him, right? We're pleasing him, not the boss,
right?
Not a paycheck,
right?
You know, we're not doing any of that for man. We're doing it to please him,
right?
Everything that we do and say and demonstrate should be pleasing unto him, right? So we just have to remember that excellence is, or mediocrity, it often comes from the mindset, not the ability. You can be great at your job, but you have to have the mindset of, really, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of me working? Right? And working hard.
Exactly. It reminds me, I'm rereading the book, The Alchemist. And if those of you who have never heard of the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, get that book. It's a Coelho, I think it's
Coelho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent book. I guarantee you, it's an easy read, but you should get it if you haven't read it. So there's a scene in that book where the boy who is like the main character in the book, he's on a journey and he's traveling, and he was a shepherd, right? And he had just gotten rid of all of his sheep, right? I don't want to give it all away, but the king of Salem required that he give him 10% of his sheep, and he sold the other 90% to a friend so that he can go on this journey. So now he's without sheep, and he's without the things that he was used to. He comes across a shop in the marketplace. The merchant was he was a crystal merchant. He sold crystal. And so the boy looked and saw his business. Saw how it was operating, and he thought to himself, wouldn't it be better if someone would just clean the crystal, And so he just went in there and volunteered to just start cleaning the crystal. And before the man could really, negotiate with him, he just started cleaning it, the crystal. And before you know it, the man's business began to flourish because the boy was cleaning those crystals. And as he was cleaning them, it was attracting people. And so the man ended up hiring the boy. The boy was just going to do it just to get enough money to go to the next stage. He ended up staying a whole year. And in that, the man ended up paying him way more money than they would have initially agreed to, because his business was prospering because of that. And then he ended up saving up enough money to buy twice as many sheep as he had before, and had enough money to get to the next stage in his journey.
Wow.
Right? Wow. And because he was cleaning that crystal to the best of his ability. And here's something else that you want to do. No matter who you work for, always try to, number one, put your best foot forward to improve that business, right? And then when you leave, you always want to leave a place better than the way you found it, right? And if you follow that, not only will you do well on that job, but God will promote you and elevate you in every area of your life.
Yep. Absolutely.
I always tell people, whatever you do for a living, whatever you do in life, be the best. Don't be mediocre. Are you the type of person that aimed for a C in class? Or are you the type of person that's going for an A? Are you the type of person that never does the extra credit? Are you the type of person that goes above and beyond? This is what separates the men and women from the boys and the girls in the marketplace, right? Some of us are simply just showing up to work.
Yeah.
And so your paycheck and your bank account shows it, right? When you are the best at what you do and you do whatever it is you do in the spirit of excellence, not only will God reward you, but you will start seeing those rewards physically and practically in your career, right? You will begin to get promotions and you will begin to create security and longevity in your job, right? Because when you are the best at what you do, it's hard for people to fire you.
That's true.
It's hard for people to replace you. So whatever it is you do, be the best. Don't do it as unto man, but do it as unto the Lord. Yeah. Be the best.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's the easy thing. So, the question is, have you lowered your standards because it's just a job? Or are you working that thing because you know who you're trying to please and who gave you the provision of that job? Right? So you have to again, it's the mindset.
Right.
You can go in there and you can do the work all day. But if you have the nastiest attitude and you have the nastiest way of thinking, like, and all you do is talk about this person, talk about that person, talk about this, complain about that, complain about this, guess what? You're not going to be there long.
Right. How you show up every day makes all the difference in the world. If you show up with a negative attitude, it's going to make the difference in your job. Right? It's going to make the difference in your career. And so many people don't even see their job as a career. They just see it as I'm punching this clock. Yep. But I don't care if you work, if you make a six-figure salary or you make X amount of dollars per hour, you have to think of it as your career. And you also should think of it as a journey, right? Where you are right now is not where you should end up. Yep. If you're doing the same thing 5 years from now that you're doing today, then you need to step back and take a look. Am I putting my best foot forward? Because if you are, you should be promoted by now, or you should at least have been offered a promotion, or you should at least be able to jump to another position, another job, another company. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you show up makes all the difference in the world, right? So show up with your back straight, your head held high. Speak up when folks are talking to you. Don't be with your head down, mumbling, and nobody can understand what it is you're saying. Show up like you're a child of God. I know when we would take our kids to restaurants and stuff like that, we taught them how to order their food. Speak up so the lady can hear you, so the man can hear you.
Right.
If we have to repeat your order, then something's wrong if you're past 12 years old now.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then we have to also look at where God places us, the jobs that he gives us, the companies he gives us to work for. We have to go a little deeper and say, okay, is this a job or is this an assignment?
That's good. I like that.
What is the purpose? Why did you put me here? And it bring this point, when I saw this point, in working on this point, I said, oh my gosh. So my good girlfriend, my mentor, and you know who I'm talking about, she's contemplating, switching, changing company. And she's been, approached for this opportunity and talking with her. And I told her this exact same thing. I said, what if God is making this opportunity become up because this is your last assignment in the workplace, in the workforce? Because she's talking about, retiring. I said, what if this is your last assignment?
Mm-hmm.
What if he's purposely putting you here just to do something specific that needs to be done at this company?
Right.
And even when I was working and running my team, it's like I always ask God, like, what is the reason?
Mm-hmm.
What is the purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? And I always put my team needs first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if my team doesn't succeed, then that's a reflection on me.
Right.
And then I don't succeed.
Right.
And then it trickles down. And then it's a bad reflection on the company. And
Mm-hmm.
the company does, so it works like that. So I always looked at it, what is the purpose?
Mm-hmm.
What is the assignment? What am I supposed to be doing here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you take that, especially if you're in a leadership position, you have a leadership opportunity. Even if you're not a leader, you still can influence other people.
Mm-hmm.
You still can, have if you a new person comes in and they need some training or some help,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. You can help other people to grow for their growth. You just have to look at it. It's like, is this more than just a paycheck?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is it more than just a job?
Right. And it is. It always is.
It always is.
If God gave you the job, it is an assignment, right? Think about it like this. Think about Joseph, the dreamer in the Bible, right? So this is you all may or may not recall the story where Joseph had a dream. He was a young teenager at this time when he had the dream of him being elevated to a certain place in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the interpretation of the dream. Once he disclosed that dream, everything seemed to go in the opposite direction of what he thought, of what he dreamt, right? But at the end of the day, he did end up being elevated to being the second in command over all of Egypt. Like, under the Pharaoh, everything had to come through him, right? He was elevated, he was promoted to that position for an assignment. And that was to get Egypt and that whole continent through a famine. You see what I'm saying? And that's the part that people forget. Yep, he was elevated to that position, but the assignment, the God-given assignment was to get these people through a famine that was coming. You feel what I'm saying? The same is true with you and I. Whatever it is, whatever job God has placed you on, you have to look beyond the position and ask God, why do you have me here? What is my assignment? There's something bigger, right? And that's why you gotta not be distracted with all of the other stuff that goes on and let that get in your head, because that's the enemy coming to kill, steal, and destroy what? Not you, but the assignment.
Yep. That's it. That's it. I mean, when we look at it in that perspective, it becomes something totally different. And we're not talking about to the extreme where you're trying to change everybody or do something throughout the whole company, whatever. It can be one person. One person that needs to hear and see you.
Right.
See your work ethic. See how you speak. See how you demonstrate yourself at your job.
Right.
See if you cuss out the boss when you get upset.
Right.
Or do you sit at your desk like, Lord help me, please? Because we've all done that and needed to do it several times. But this is so good because it really does show who we are. And are we showing the lifestyle that we're living?
Right.
Or are we wearing a mask?
Right. Are we demonstrating the lifestyle that we're called to live? Right. And it's not just at work, but in every area of your life. Right.
Every area, every place you go.
Right.
It could be the grocery store.
Yeah. But if you're spending most of your waking hours at work, then it better show up there if it doesn't show up anywhere else. And that's the case for most of us, right? So from the time we wake up in the morning, we get dressed, we go to work, and we're there at least 8 hours a day, right?
Yep.
And for those of us who work remotely, like I do, we're still interacting with people online at least 8 hours a day. How you show up during those 8, 10, 12 hours makes all the difference in the world. Right? And again, whatever you do, however you show up, it's to God's glory. That's how you have to look at it. Because if you show up any other kind of way, then you're making God look bad. Right? It's just like when I said earlier, when you leave the house, you represent us. You know, when your kids leave the house, they represent you. The same is true. How you show up is how you represent God. And the last thing you want is to represent him in a bad way after he didn't let you get the job.
Yes.
You don't know how much of a blessing that is. It's not even a it's not even a benefit, should I say, or a privilege. It is a blessing.
A blessing.
How do I know? Be without a job for a while. Be without a job long enough to the point where you start praying.
Oh yeah.
And asking God, I need you to step in. I need your help right here. Because I'm running out. I'm running dry. Right? And then that's when you really look at God and say, am I still eating? Yeah, he still will give you your daily bread, but he's bringing you to the point to recognize that he is, like you said earlier, he is your provider. Right? So don't get it twisted when you get your paycheck. At the end of the day, God is still the provider because he gave you the job.
Job. It's like Acts 17:26 says God determined the exact place where people should live. Where is that? You know that? Oh, we gotta dive deeper in that one.
Yeah. Okay, we got to look into that. God determined the exact places where people should live. You are not where you are by accident. Your workplace is a platform of influence. Now it's starting to make sense. It is a training ground for growth, a space where God can use you. That makes sense. I do have to look into that scripture a little more because it doesn't ring a bell, but it makes a whole lot of sense. Where you are right now, you are not there by accident. No. Right? And you may not be on a job that you really like right now, right? But you are not there by accident. You perhaps are there to influence the people around you, right? Because guess what? If you don't like your job, then perhaps some other people don't like theirs either. But if they see you show up in a positive way in spite of, guess what type of influence you have just become, right? And while you're doing that, you are in the growth process. It's stretching you. It's making you grow. Why do you need to grow? Because God is preparing you for the next assignment, right? Why? Because he wants to use you at greater heights and deeper depths, right? So where you are right now, God has you there intentionally. So do the best you can so that you can fulfill the assignment and be promoted to the next one.
Absolutely.
Help me now. Help me.
That's it. Yep. So on point. So on point. So
are we almost there?
We're done.
Really?
Yeah. See, I told you this was gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
This is gonna be easy because we've been there. We are there. and we're doing it.
Right. That's where we are. I'm glad you said that, because so you have people, and too bad Daddy ain't on the call. Mm-hmm. People who are retired, mm-hmm. right? So now they don't go to a 9-to-5 every day anymore, but they're still on assignment. Mm-hmm. Just because you don't work for the man, right, you still are employed by God. Mm-hmm. And so how you show up even in retirement, mm-hmm. watch this, is critical for your next assignment. Mm-hmm. And you may be thinking, what do you mean next assignment? I'm done. It ain't over till the fat lady sing.
That's it. That's it.
It ain't over. Mm-mm.
So our closing teaching moment, it says, my faith is not separate from my work. It is revealed through it. Mm-hmm. I will show up with integrity, excellence, and purpose. Mm-hmm. I'm not just employed. I am assigned.
I'm assigned. I like that.
I'm assigned.
I'm not just employed. I'm assigned.
That should be on a t-shirt.
That should.
Ooh. Don't nobody do it.
You can put it out there.
Nope. Mm-mm. I'm going to start, but get on it right now. Yeah. So that's it.
What's next? I'm excited.
Oh my God, we still in the workplace.
We still at work.
We still at work.
I want to get to the marketplace.
The marketplace, all that.
Is it coming?
It's coming. Okay. It's coming. Just tune in next week.
All right.
Tune in next week. What's next week? Let me make sure. Next week is the 19th. Yeah. Tune in next week.
Tune in next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we got some things coming up, but we will be on Tuesday.
Where is everybody today?
I don't know. I don't know where everybody is today.
I have a feeling that we didn't get the word out.
We did.
We did?
We did.
You know, I'm going to hear about it.
Hear what?
They're going to say, well, how come we didn't know that?
Nah. See you all next week. 7:30. Same time. Same place.
Same station.
Yeah.
Until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen, we love you.
And good night.
Good night.